A very good morning and welcome back to Morning Live and welcome to Brighton in England. Yes, it is rather wet, but I can't say that the sun has been completely, or rather has completely disappeared. We did see it for the entire day. It made a full 24-hour appearance for us. A very good morning to you and welcome to our travelling studio. You saw from the outside there, the name of our bus is Polly the Play Bus, and this is the bus that's going to be taking us across England for the duration of a month and a half as we bring you the latest from the Rugby World Cup. So we landed here in England on Monday and then we drove through to this seaside town which is Brighton, where the Springboks are going to be playing their very first match. And something that really struck us when we landed, when we picked up the very first paper and there was a spread of 6 different experts speaking about the Rugby World Cup, many of them didn't actually mention South Africa as a favourite. So what we decided to do was we decided to pick up a couple of English papers and find out exactly what the press are saying about the Rugby World Cup. Of the 3 papers, none of them mentioning the Rugby World Cup on the front page, bar for the Daily Telegraph, and their front page story was about the rugby venues accused of ripping off fans. Surprise, surprise, does this sound unfamiliar to you? Because yes, we always see it during major tournaments. The fact that fans feel as if they're having to pay a premium just because it is a Rugby World Cup. Then in each of the papers there was a sports supplement, many of them focusing in on the Rugby World Cup. This is the Times' page, let the battle commence, and it all does tonight with the opening match between England and Fiji. And this was the Daily Express. I mentioned that some of the experts on Monday in another paper had not mentioned South Africa as a favourite. And do you see a South African on the front of this spread for the Rugby World Cup? And this is coming from the Daily Express. No, you don't. But then again, you don't see Australia either. So that's just what some of the English papers are having to say about the Rugby World Cup. What's happening in the Springbok camp? We had the team announcement a little bit earlier on, but Simon Burke is our camp correspondent, the TCC, for our duration of our stay here. So let's find out the latest from the Bok camp.
Against Japan, the Springboks need to iron out all the kinks in their game plan, and that includes the set pieces. Much will be expected of the Du Plessis brothers, Yanni and Bismarck, together with Tendai the Beast Tawarira, as well as the returning Kuni Oosthuizen, to lay down a solid foundation. Scrum coach Peter de Villiers says the front row has been working hard.
Well, some of our senior players have had like a period where they, came through niggles and had some rest, and we see it as a positive. We feel that the group is full of energy at the moment. They want to get out there. They want to play rugby, as Sia mentioned as well. They've put in all this extra hard work, and believe me, they prefer playing rather than doing fitness and conditioning. So they've put in all of this hard work. And now this energy is sitting there and it's waiting to be used. So yes, Yanni is very happy to be back with his peers from Durban where they used to play.
Japan has always punched above its weight at the Rugby World Cups, and here in Brighton on Saturday, the Springboks can expect a stern test. I'm Simon Burke, giving you the latest from the Springbok camp.
And physicality is certainly going to be the buzzword. Japan don't boast a single player over 2 meters. Now, when South Africa announced their team, it was also the most capped team in history. There's going to be 880 caps that run onto the field on Saturday. And experience was also the buzzword for the Japanese team, who named their oldest squad. And this test match will be the very first time that these 2 teams, South Africa and Japan, go up against one another at an international level. Lots to look forward to. But how are the Japanese planning on taking on the 2-time world champions, South Africa? Well, we found out.
It's an enormous physical challenge. We need to make sure that our forwards put the best performance they possibly can. So we know we've got to be physically confrontational as much as we can. We know we have to operate lower than the South Africans because they are very big. We know that in any of the aerial contests we need to maximise every bit of height that we possibly can, because in each of those areas South Africa have an advantage. But the message to our forwards is we've got to go out and we've got to give this a go. We've got to go and put in a performance that this team can be proud of.
Our strategy, play our style of football, don't get don't get bogged down with the slow, forward-orientated game that they play, and that's probably about as much as I can give you.
Are you guys confident about that? Obviously, South Africa have a superior forward pack.
Well, they play their style of football, we play ours. We've been preparing for quite a long time, and most of the focus has been on this first game. I know everyone writes us off and just wants us to be competitive and fly the flag, but we've all sacrificed a hell of a lot of time, particularly this year, away from our friends and our families and our lives, to prepare for this game. We're not here just to make up the numbers. We want to actually make a difference.
Well, the population here in Brighton is 273,000. Now, this seaside town is not really a rugby nation. Admittedly so. They say they are more followers of the game of football, and their local team, Brighton and Hove, are currently the English Championship leaders on the early log table. However, we're told by many of the locals that the people here in Brighton like to get into the spirit of things once it all gets underway. Now, our bus is actually parked just outside of the fan zone, and they're expecting 10 to 20,000 people for the opening match, and then of course for the days following that and the two matches that Brighton are actually going to host. We decided to go out onto the streets and get a real sense of how Brighton feel about not only the Rugby World Cup but about rugby in general.
Wales. I'll go South Africa.
That Japan don't stand a chance.
Wear the rose, support England rugby all the way, but I think South Africa will win that this year.
Yay, South Africa! Yo! My hair's kind of messed up, but I'll chat. What's up?
I'm not into sports, sorry.
But will you?
It would be nice if we did win England or whoever's playing.
South Africa, I think, will do well. I think England could take it at home, but New Zealand's always going to be the favourite.
What about the Springboks? South Africa?
Oh well, yes, good luck to them.
South Africa's going to win the World Cup.
All Blacks, so we're definitely going to win this year.
South Africa.
New Zealand.
Rugby. Yeah, we will.
There you go.
We will.
Hey?
Who?
Hey?
Who's going to win?
England.
England.
Who?
England, of course.
Australia.
Why? It's a guess?
It's a guess.
It's a guess.
It's a guess.
What about England?
No chance.
England!
After touching Matt, I'm definitely going to South Africa because all the men have got to be like Matt.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Thank you.
England.
Excited about the Rugby World Cup?
Oh, definitely.
Who would you like to win?
South Africa, definitely.
Well, you can always count on a man's best friend, can't you? That little doggy's name was Taz, and I wonder if we can't loan him to our front rower, Beast Mtawarira, because would you believe it, coming as a very close second to his family, as the things that he misses most about home when he is on tour, the Beast says it's his two staffies that he also misses.
Missing my family, missing my wife and kids, but the good thing is that they're going to be joining me very soon, next week. So yeah, so there's something to look forward to as well. So yeah, I think I miss that, and I also miss my dogs. Yeah, they're two beautiful staffies. Staffies, two staffies, Tank and Casa. Yeah, they're my buddies. No, but it's great, like what Brian said, you're willing to sacrifice anything for this team. So I'm willing to do that, and just excited to start this tournament on Saturday.
When I was at the press conference, I posed the very same question to the gentleman that was sitting on the right-hand side of the Beast, and that was Brian Habana. And Brian Habana said that, well, he actually missed his child's first steps as they've been here in England and in preparation for the Rugby World Cup. But he said that everything that's happened around the team in the build-up to the event, and also, the things that happen on tour has just made them all a lot closer. And this tour, the camps preceding the Rugby World Cup as well as the Rugby World Cup, will be the longest tour that Coach Hanneke Meyer and those players that have played under him have actually been on. Let's Shift focus to Brighton now once again. It is a lovely seaside place that many of England come down to actually visit, and there's so much to see, from Britain's very first electric railway, folks, to the famous Brighton Pier.
Brighton Pier is 116 years old. It's a Victorian pier, and it's been a popular place ever since Queen Victoria herself travelled down from London to Brighton. Since then it's changed quite a lot. It's changed in length, it's been extended, and during World War II actually half of the pier was taken out to stop any of the German planes landing, because it was used as a runway as well. And over its period of time it's had lots of famous people who visited it, from, as I say, people like Queen Victoria to lesser known people like Russell Brand as well.
The history of this railway goes back to the 4th of August 1883. Magnus started his railway then. It ran along from the aquarium station to where the old chain pier was. The aquarium station has now been cut short because it used to go back to the pier, and is where it's situated today. We'll get around about 200,000 visitors per season. Yeah. The trains run usually from the Easter holidays all the way through to the end of September. The workshop, we believe, was early in the 1800s. And the fishermen used to use it to hang the nets up in it.
Well, the rain has really started to come down here now. This is a shot from our bus. You can see the Brighton Pier to the left-hand side, the big wheel, and this is the seafront that attracts so many people to this town. You know that 95% of people that actually come to Brighton go on to the Brighton Pier, so it certainly is a destination for so many people to go and watch, well, rather to go and actually visit. Brighton is going to be hosting just 2 Rugby World Cup matches at the Brighton Community Centre. Of course, South Africa's opener, and then on Sunday also Samoa up against the USA. We chatted to a local politician, and that's Councillor Alan Robbins, to find out what the perceived benefits are around being a Rugby World Cup host are going to be, and his hopes for the city.
Well, financially, I mean, it's very difficult to judge. I mean, how long's a piece of string? You know, you don't know. Hopefully, people will come for the rugby, like the look of the town, and perhaps come back another time and spend a bit more time here. It may go out in South Africa on the TV. People see it and think, well, that looks a nice place. Next time I'll go over to England, I'll call into Brighton and have a look at it. So it's difficult to judge, but working on what we hosted the Tour of Britain, the cycle race last year. And we reckon we made about 3 million out of that. So financially, it is good. All the hotels are booked, and presumably all the bars, the restaurants, and the clubs will all be full and buzzing. So there is a financial benefit, yeah. And we've got the fan zone over there, which I'm sure you've looked at, where they reckon there'll be 10,000 people here tomorrow night, possibly 20,000 people here Saturday night to see South Africa. And you know, it's that type of city, and that's really as much as what we want. You know, whereas we're very proud of our tradition and our heritage, I don't know as we want to be preserved in aspects. We get a lot of stag and hen parties come down over the weekends. They enjoy themselves, and it is a place where it's very cosmopolitan. There's lots of different nationalities, lots of different countries, lots of different people down here. And it's a very liberal town. You know, people don't judge you on what you do. They allow you to live as you want to live, and there's all sorts of different arrangements go on. And it's something we're proud of to have that sort of reputation. There's also a bit of culture, as you say. You've been to the Pavilion around the corner, which is the old Royal Palace, which has got a lot of culture, and that quarter with the theatres and everything.
All right, and that's how we actually conclude our very first broadcast live from England. And we're going to be bringing you something, an update every single day right here on SABC 2. You'll be able to catch the Rugby World Cup opening ceremony at 8 o'clock on SABC 2 from our brand new state-of-the-art studios. And it's something that you don't want to miss. And then the kickoff for the very first match between England and Fiji is at 9 o'clock South African time. It's one that we can't wait. We can't wait for this tournament to finally get underway. England and Fiji gone up against one another 5 times. Fiji have never ever beaten the 2003 Rugby World Cup champions. That is goodbye for us for today. We'll meet you tomorrow from Polly, the Playbus. Sam Marshall, it's back to you.